everyone, welcome back to Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. My name is Stacy. Now I am going to show you how I'm going to use up some of these paper pads or some of the pieces of the paper pads, not going to use the whole pad, but show you how I'm going to use some of this paper that I bought that I showed you in that Michael's paper haul. So I'm going with the farmhouse theme. So I've got my classic vintage paper pad, and there was 2 pages of cutouts that look like vintage postcards. So I went ahead and I cut those out on my paper trimmer because I wanted them to be nice and straight and even. Okay, so that one again came from Classic Vintage. Then I got out the paper pad Christmas Farmhouse, and oops, sorry. And there were 2 different pages of cutouts in there. So I went ahead and cut those out on my paper trimmer to get them nice and even. Okay, so I've got 2 stacks, and they end up being 4x6. Okay, so that's the paper I'm going to use for this project. And then I went and grabbed out some of the Dollar Tree 4x6 artist canvas. They're on a board. They're thin. Okay, inside of here is 3 in a pack, which makes this a pretty economical craft. And what I like and don't like about this is each one is individually wrapped. When I want to use all of them all at once, I don't like it. But when I only want to use one, I like that they're wrapped so that they stay clean till I'm ready to use the others. So I guess it's probably better to have them wrapped, but it just brings a lot of extra plastic into the trash can. So I'm going to go through and open all of these up. Now you have a choice. You can, depending on how crisp a line and a cut that you get with your paper cutter, if you don't have a paper trimmer and you had to use scissors and your line might not be super duper straight, then I would go ahead and paint these black or even like a dark green or something that coordinates and will blend in with the papers that you're using, just in case you didn't get it straight and it's not going to hit the edge. Okay, I don't mind a little white showing through. If you don't mind a little white showing through, then don't worry about it. Now I'm going for the farmhouse theme, so this Joyous Noel one, probably not my best choice. So I'm going to put that one aside. I have limited numbers of these right now. I need to get back to Dollar Tree, so I'm going to pick my favorites. I love this Merry Christmas. It has a little bit of gold on it, but it's got the green buffalo check. The green buffalo check is a little harder to come by. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one. And I like this red Peace on Earth. That fits on there nicely. So I'm going to use that one. I like All is Calm, All is Bright. So I'm going to choose that one. Okay, I think then I've got Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. That's on the green with the truck. I absolutely have to use that one. There's on the green with a Santa Claus. Meet Me Under the Mistletoe. I like that one. It fits right on there. May all your days be merry and bright. I like that one. Okay, so each pad has 2 pages that are identical of those cutouts. And so you're going to end up with a bunch of cutouts. And these pads seem to have more cutouts in them than the ones that I got last year, which I kind of like. So there's a limit to how many pages of paper you can use, but it's fun to have some of these cutouts. So I just chose one of each of the ones that I really liked. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 of them. I only have 6 canvases right now, so I'm going to have to pick and choose. And then I've got the same with the postcards. I'm only going to pick out the ones that I like the best, and I absolutely love that vintage Santa, so I'm absolutely going to use that one. And I love this vintage Santa, so I'm going to use that one. This one's kind of plain, but it'd be cute if I put a little picture on it, and I do have some punch-outs in that pad that would work. This one I just like. It's Postcard, Holiday Wishes. It's stamped from Vancouver, Canada on May 28th, 1951. That's pretty cool. Okay, this one's plain, so you could put a picture in it. And then I'm back to the ones I've already done. Okay, so I'm going to use for sure these 3 postcards and these particular cutouts. So I need to open up all of the rest of these canvases, and I'm going to go look in my cupboard and see if I have any more. Okay, I don't have any more little canvases right now, so I'm just going to do my 6 favorites and go with that. All right, I am going to be using this matte finished Mod Podge. Got it at the Dollar Tree. You can get it less expensively at other places if you buy a big container, and especially if you buy a big container at somewhere like Hobby Lobby. That gives you a great coupon for 40% off of the regular priced item. It's usually, well, it depends on what size you get. So, yeah. You know me and Mod Podge, if you've been around my channel for a while, I just don't like to have the big tub around because I end up with it getting too dried up and clumpy on me. Now, I've just spread some Mod Podge on the board, and I'm going to spread a little Mod Podge on the back of my paper. You do not have to put it on the back of the paper, but this is cardstock, and so I like to put it on the back of the paper when it's cardstock. When it's thin paper, I don't worry about it. Now, usually if you've been around my channel, you know I don't like to put a second coat over the, or a coat of Mod Podge over the top. But on these, I think I'm going to, because they're going to go on the Christmas tree. I'm making these for myself, not for my booth, because I'm changing up my decor this year, and I'm going to be doing a farmhouse Christmas tree. Make sure you keep your wet wipes handy to clean up your little messes. This is my favorite that I've found so far. They're the Pure and Gentle. They're really inexpensive. I think it was right about $1 from Walmart. I wish they were in a tub, not a little plastic bag, because sometimes the plastic bag is just loud when I'm on screen, and yeah. Okay, so I'm going to wipe the excess Mod Podge off of my canvas because I'm trying to keep the back clean. I like my projects to look good on both sides, and I am actually contemplating decoupaging the other side as well. Okay, so I've got a little bit of overlap on my board, and that's okay. Once this first coat is dry, I'm going to sand the edges a little bit just to distress them a little. Okay, so there's my first one. It just needs to sit and dry. Gonna work on the next one. I chose 3 of the vintage postcard ones and 3 of the farmhouse ones. Make sure you get plenty of Mod Podge onto this board because it is a canvas, it is a porous surface, and you need a good coat on there. I think it might be kind of fun on this postcard to do a couple of them and do them two-sided so that you have the front of the card and the back of the card. I think that would be kind of fun. That's kind of what is inspiring me at the moment. When I make ornaments, I do like to make them look nice on both sides because sometimes if you're hanging an ornament on a tree, it will spin around just with the fluctuations of your ceiling fans and your heat registers, depending on where they hit the tree and whatnot. That there's so many things that can make an ornament spin around, and there's nothing as sad as a backwards ornament that's ugly on the other side. So I will be decoupaging both sides of these. But these little canvases are so sturdy and so nice and so cheap that you can just have a good time making them. Alright, here's the 6 that I have started. And I will do the other side, but I want to give these time to dry. The best way, in my opinion, if you're going to put Mod Podge over the top, is to completely let the first coat underneath of here dry, because if you don't, you end up with some bubbles. So if you let it dry first and let it get that good contact with the board and let it soak in, then you're going to have better luck with that second topping coat. Okay, and if you're going to do a coat over the top, plan on doing at least 2. That will protect it and it'll just make it a lot nicer. And then you can seal it with a sealant when you're done to keep it from being sticky. I have not had good luck with Mod Podge over the top of things because it does get sticky, but I lived in Oregon where it was very humid, And here in Utah, I'm not going to have that problem. But I will be spraying these with a clear coat sealant after they're all done, just to protect them a little bit and to keep any Mod Podge from sticking together, like when they're in storage throughout the year in between Christmases. So anyway, I'm going to let these dry and I'll show you how I do the back side. Okay, so the first side of my little postcard signs and my ornament signs have dried. And so I've gone through and picked out what I want the other side to be. I'm just kind of moving from project to project today. So if you see things left over from another project, that's why. So I've using up all my Mod Podge. So I found another one that's new. I'm going to go ahead and turn these over and do the back side. I'm going to work one at a time. I went through and found something that goes the same direction so I can post or decoupage it onto the back. So I just need to make sure that I've got them both facing the same direction. I'm going to open up my Mod Podge and get to it. Once again, I am using the matte finish Mod Podge. I don't think vintage things should be too terribly shiny because part of the patina of being vintage is that it's worn out a little bit. So I don't like to have things shiny. And for the most part, I don't like to have things shiny. Farmhouse things need to be casual. Shiny is not super casual. So there you have it, my 2 cents worth. If you like shiny, you go get the gloss Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree and you just do it all shiny. You do what works for you and what you like because it's going to be in your decor. Okay, we're to the part in the project where all of the Mod Podge is dry, and I'm going to go ahead and go around the edges and distress it, sand off any extra paper that there is. Just gonna wipe over this real quick, get the dust off so you can see what it's really gonna look like. Okay, here's the merry and bright side, and here's the Santa Claus side. Went a little too heavy right there, I think, but I just wanted it to look weathered. Here's the truck side, and here's the mistletoe side. Okay, so those need to sit and dry a little bit from the paper towel. Anyway. So I'm going to do the same distressing to all of these, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, I'm done with the distressing, and now I need to put my final coat of Mod Podge on. So I'm making sure that I'm getting all the way around the edges, and I'm doing that first. And then I'm going to have to let this dry and do the other side as well. So I'm going ahead and I'm putting on a pretty good thick coat. And I'm laying off my all my brush strokes all in the same direction so that you don't get a weird looking line through it. And I'm trying to go the whole distance every time. Okay, there's that one. And I'm going to set it on a drying rack. Okay, so all of the Mod Podge has dried on all of my board ornaments, and so I need to decorate them. And what I'm thinking is I want to use holly leaves and buttons on the corner and a jute string for the tie. Now, if this was an old-fashioned ornament, farmhouse style ornament, it would most likely have had the holly leaves cut from paper. So if you have a holly leaf punch, way to go. You can use that. I do not. I won't be using that. So what I did is I picked out a piece of paper from one of my pads. It's a nice holly color. I'm just kind of cutting off the parts I might want to reuse on something later. I don't know if I'll use that or not, but I just need the green paper from the center. Now, I really, 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 really wish I had a holly leaf punch, because that would make this a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier. So what I'm going to do is just kind of fussy cut, and I kind of have an idea of how big I need them to be, and I'm just going to cut some holly leaves. Holly leaves aren't too hard to cut. They're basically angles, just like pointy angles, and then you curve it. They're just a pain, that's all. Okay, so there's one. It's not beautiful by any means, and I just want to make sure that that's the right size. Yeah, I think that'll work. It might actually be a little long. Let's trim it down just a little bit more. If you don't want to do this part, you can absolutely use greenery. I just feel like it would have paper cut pieces. So I could get out my Cricut, but I just didn't want to drag it all out and set it all up. And I kind of have a cutting station set up, but right now it's full of craft supplies. All my Dollar Tree hauls. Okay, I gave up on the fussy cutting. I went ahead and cleaned up my station so that I could cut them on the Cricut. And so now I am just pulling them off, and I'm going to just put them into one of these empty embellishment boxes that I have, and just sort them by size. I cut several different sizes because I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted, and you hear my Cricut going in the background cutting a couple more sizes. So I'm going to get these all pulled off of here, then I'll come back and show you how I decorate. Okay, I'm back. I got all of my different holly pieces cut. I've got several different sizes. I got some single leaves, and I've got some leaves that are double. And these were printed off of the Winter Woodland, or cut from the Winter Woodland cartridge on my Cricut. Okay, so if you have Design Studio, you might have access to that cartridge. I don't know how Design Studio works. I want to learn it, but I haven't taken the time to do so. Okay, so I just on a whim cut some 1.5-inch ones, not thinking that it would be the right size, and I kind of really like it. Okay, so I've got my embellishment box full of my holly leaves. I've got some twine. I pre-cut it. To pre-cut my twine for hangers, I like to use this. It's one of those scrapers from the Dollar Tree, and I just hold my twine with my thumb and I wrap it around a whole bunch of times, and because there's this handle here, it's easy to slide your scissors up and you can just cut it, and then all of your hangers will be the same size. And then I have my red embellishment box. I like to sort some of my embellishments by color. Buttons kind of go all in a button thing, because usually when I'm using buttons, it's different colors, so I'm just kind of like changing it up. But whenever I get some special buttons that come with other things, I like to keep them sorted by their color. Now these are glittered, so that's too fancy, I think. So I wanted to find something that looked a little bit vintage, that would look like something you might actually find in the farmhouse. And these are a bunch of embellishments from close to my heart, I think. I went to this craft clearance center, and there was all sorts of things. And so I bought several packets of the red embellishments. So these are just little buttons, and they've been covered with red corduroy. And that to me just kind of screams farmhouse. It's like, it's just something that they would have had left over. It would have been a handmade craft. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to start with this little Santa, and the way I'm going to do it, I need to decide, do I want my holly on the left or on the right? And on this one, I think I kind of want him over here on the right. So what I'm going to do is I've got my glue gun heated up. I'm going to pull my glue gun a little closer, and I'm going to put a card underneath in case it drips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by gluing down my paper holly leaf. And this isn't going to take a lot of glue, it's just paper. Okay, and I'm going to put it right in the corner. Then I'm going to take my jute, and this is where the first hanger is going to go. I'm going to put a blob of glue right there on the edge of my holly berries, and I'm going to put my jute in there, and then I'm going to pop this red little button over the top, and I'm going to push down as hard as I can so that the glue encompasses that hanger and holds the berry on, and that's how the one half is going to get decorated. But I also have decorated the other side, so I'm going to bring my jute over, and I'm only decorating one corner, so I'm going to have my jute under each decoration. I hope that makes sense. That way it gets glued on really well. Okay, so I've got my holly, but I'm not sure I like that bright red with this. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my black Sharpie, and I don't know if this is going to work. I haven't done this before. And I'm just going to kind of go around the edge with my black Sharpie. A brown one would probably be better. I'm just kind of trying to make a little barrier between the reds. Okay. Just putting some polka dots on there just to tone down the red just a little. Yeah, I like that better. It doesn't stand out and scream bright red. It's still redder than I would like, but it's what I got, so it's what I'm going to use. Then down goes my jute and my button. Make sure that you get that jute completely under the button, but you don't want it sticking out at the bottom. Okay, and now I can hang this, and the jute just goes under the button on both sides. Okay, that's one done. Close up my embellishment boxes and get them out of the way. And I can bring these up to show you. Okay, this has been my vintage ornament postcard project. If you like this, give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think of this project in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And hit that notification bell if you want to be notified each and every time that I give you, or each and every time that I upload a video. Alright, this has been Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. Thanks for stopping by. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next time.